Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Minute on the Mountain. We're up Blacksmith Fork Canyon today. Oh, I've snowshoes are in the truck. It didn't look like there was that much snow, but on this flat there is a lot of snow. So when I get up to the hillside where it's steeper, I don't think the snow is as thick, but I'm sure I'm going to be following through quite a bit on the way. It's sunny. And it's supposed to get warm today, like 42. But right now it is freezing. The wind's probably blowing 15 to 20 miles an hour. And man, it's cold. So hopefully we'll get up here and the wind will stop a little bit and see if we can find a shed or two. Well, the elk herd from Hardware has migrated into here. There's a cow looking at me about 200 yards away up there. Probably won't be able to see it in the GoPro. It's about 6 up there right now I can see. 3 are up feeding, 3 are bedded. Unfortunately, they're in the area I wanted to go and I don't want to move them around. So I'll probably stay lower and hike that next ridge. Yeah, they've been all up in here. There's elk sign everywhere. So we'll see if we can try not to move them around too much. We're supposed to get another storm this next week. And that's when these storms get tough on the elk and deer, is these February and March storms when their fat reserves are already down. So I don't want to bump them any more than I have to. There ended up being one spike in that little herd of elk. Everything else was cows. We're a little bit higher in elevation now, and they did bump over the next ridge. So, but they didn't go very far and they didn't run. I mean, they kind of trotted off. They didn't run. They didn't really get spooked too bad, thankfully. Major game trail here. So I'll work this back and forth. Still windy, but I feel like it's warmed up at least a couple degrees. My hands aren't numb. And we're just gonna work this whole face back and forth, back and forth. Saw 4 mule deer as well, looked like all does. And that's what we're looking for, is deer sheds. The elk haven't shed yet, or at least it'd be pretty early if they have. There's where one of those elk was bedded right there. There's the other elk bed right here. Still see some of their hair in it. Another one was bedded up by that tree right there. And then here's 2 more beds. One right here. And another one right there on the edge of that trail. Found a little dry spot up under these oak bushes. Stop and have a snack. I brought a tarp up with me in case I had to sit in the snow, but thankfully we got a spot here that's not only not snow covered, it's pretty dry. So here's the snack for right now. Oops, upside down. Jack Link's beef stick and cheese, which I feel like I need to get a little protein in me. I'm just feeling really weak, wimpy this morning. Which there's lots of times I feel wimpy, but not usually this fast. So get a little protein in me and then keep hiking. I've seen 15 deer now, and that herd of elk had 18 in it. So it's been fun. Seen a golden eagle. No sheds, but that's okay. Super slow going, guys. I hear like a fawn in distress up here. You guys hear that? The reason I'm being super careful is I've seen mountain lion tracks. So I would hate to get up here on top of a lion that's got a deer down. That would not be a good situation. But it doesn't sound like it's moving. It sounds like it's still in the same spot. That's why I'm a little concerned. But it sounds like it's coming up above me up there. So I'm going to skirt over here where I can get out in the open and see farther. It's been super slow going, all these rock fields and the snow, so you can't tell if there's a 3-foot hole underneath there or if it's 4 inches and a rock's under there. So I've been going really slow. I'm gonna get through this rock field and see if we can figure out what that fawn's doing. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear that through the windscreen. Anyway, that fawn's right there. It's a yearling making all that racket. It's actually walking to me. I stopped to get some lunch, although it's more like breakfast. Today we're going to try Ready Wise apple cinnamon cereal, basically oatmeal. I have not had this before, so give a taste test. Packed up a little fire maple with me in my backpack. I've said this several times, but man, this thing's been a game changer for me. It's so much faster than the little Ozark trail stove I used to have. And it's nice on a day like today. It's warm, but I've been sweating so much, and with the wind blowing, I'm pretty cold. So to get a hot meal on the mountain is definitely a blessing sometimes. I'm wearing these Free Soldier winter tactical pants, and I'm going to be doing a more thorough review on those pretty soon. And I've got my Tamarack hunting boots, which I have done a review on those. I'll put a little link in the description, or excuse me, a little card up in the video. I'm just starting to get the top wearing off around the toe there. So we'll see how much longer they hold up. I don't quite have 2 years out of them, so it'd be nice to get at least 2 years. But anyway, we'll let this sit for the prescribed time. I'll do a quick taste test on the apple cinnamon cereal from Ready Wise. Here's my view. There's a herd of about 14 deer down here in the bottom. Just been watching them. They're all does and fawns. Yes, I'm getting sprinkled on. All the snow up in the top of this tree is melting and dripping through. The wind's blowing it down. It's oatmeal. You could use a little more cinnamon, a little more flavor. I had a good little chunk of apple in that bite, though. The apple rehydrated well. So these ReadyWise meals, they're considerably cheaper. I think this was $5 and change. They're considerably cheaper than Mountain House, Backpacker's Pantry, Peak Refuel. But the lunches and the dinners I don't think are as good. So I think you get what you pay for, but oatmeal's oatmeal, right? So as far as the breakfast ones, I wouldn't hesitate to buy the ReadyWise for my breakfast stuff in the morning. So I'm going to finish eating this, get everything packed away and my pack back on, then I'm going to loop around this bowl that I'm in and start working back to the truck. All right, let's wrap this up with the channel shout out and the Minute on the Mountain. It was a fun day out there, even though I didn't find a shed. It was cool to see those elk, cool to see the eagle. And I've never had a fawn come up to and make that kind of noise like it did, kind of that distress call, so that was neat. The channel that I want to shout out tonight is JR Outdoors. He's got a great channel, a lot of different types of videos, gear review videos, archery videos, hunting videos, fishing videos. He does a little bit of everything. And he does a lot of videos where he'll destroy stuff with his bow. I saw him put an arrow through a GoPro that had been giving him fits. I watched him shoot a model Tesla truck, kind of in reference to the Joe Rogan video where he shot the Tesla truck. So I'll put a link in the description. Please check him out when you get a chance and tell him Minute on the Mountain sent you. The Minute on the Mountain tonight comes from 1 Peter. So we're getting pretty close to going through the whole Bible. We're in 1 Peter chapter 4. I'm going to begin reading in verse 8. Above all, love each other deeply because love covers a multitude of sins. Offer hospitality to one another without grumbling. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. A couple of things from this passage. Obviously, our ability to love one another, to put the needs of someone else, and to be forgiving, where it says love covers a multitude of sins, is so important as believers. We have been forgiven of so much that we need to forgive others, and it should be easier for us because of how much we've been forgiven. This idea about offering hospitality without grumbling, I just confess that's an area I need to grow in. My home is kind of a refuge for me. You know, I'm doing ministry 5-6 days a week for the most part. And so I kind of feel like sometimes when I get home, that's when I get to take that hat off. And I look at my home as more of a sanctuary. And honestly, I need to be better at being hospitable. So that's something I hope to work on this year. But the verse I really want to focus in on is each of you should use whatever gift he has received to faithfully serve others as stewards of God's grace. A couple of things on that verse. Each one of us has a gift. The literal meaning would be like each and every one of you, so that all of us have at least one spiritual gift that God has given us. And the purpose of that gift is to build up and edify others, to serve others. It's not for ourselves. I often have people tell me that they've kind of given up on organized religion. And look, I certainly admit that organized religion has made major mistakes over the centuries. But when someone tells me I don't need church, I just gently try to challenge them. Maybe not, I would disagree with it. But even if you don't, the church needs you. You have gifts for a reason. You have gifts that you're supposed to be exercising for the edification and the building up of God's kingdom and God's people, the church. And every one of us has a gift. So if you're not using your gift at all, if you're not exercising a gift, if you're not serving somewhere, I just want to challenge you to exercise the gift that God has given you for the building up of others. And it says that we are faithful stewards of God's grace. So one of the ways that God pours out his grace on those around us is when you and I exercise our gifts. So that's Minute on the Mountain, 1 Peter chapter 4. Hey guys, thanks for all your support. We are over 1,150 subscribers. So we're going to do a giveaway on the next video. So on the next video, I will line up the prizes that we're going to be giving away, and you'll have a chance to comment on the next video. And then the video after that is when we will draw for the winners. So thanks for all your support. God bless you guys. We'll see you the next time we're out on the mountain.